I want to talk a little bit about the meaning of Shiatsu. We know the word Shiatsu means finger pressure. We know there's a kind of a physical history and a spiritual history behind it. And the physical side of it is when ancient people observed people getting sick, they noticed a series of points through the body become more painful. And that when they got better from that particular sickness, those points disappeared. So gradually they began to research and explore the idea of touching those points and helping support them change, which would create the movement away from that particular illness. So what we've discovered is that with all conditions that people have, there's a set of points that arise. So in this particular art called Shiatsu, we treat the whole body with pressure, pleasant pressure, but we particularly want to locate those points, which lie on what's called meridians. So ultimate aim of Shiatsu, we know, is to balance and harmonise the body's systems. On a physical level, we're starting to move all the blood and circulate the blood and the lymph fluid and create circulation. On an energy level, we're working on the meridians and the pressure points. And we know that for every organ in the body, spleen, liver, lungs, there's an associate energy line. That one's the lung. We know there's a series of points that fall upon it. And then there's, of course, corresponding areas in the body that would relate to the lung, depending where we go. So basically Shiatsu is creating deep health of the body, mind, emotion and spirit, because we know that we don't separate those things. In Oriental medicine, everything's unified. So if there's a physical problem, there'll be an emotional disturbance. We mentioned the lung. The emotional disturbance for lung is insecurity, melancholy, sadness, and so on and so forth. So Shiatsu is really the system of health for the whole body, mind and spirit. Anyone have a question?
And you've treated people for many different things, Sensei, with Shiatsu?
I've treated, yes, of course, treating over a long period of time, naturally everything from physical problems such as joint pain, colds, sore shoulders, headaches, to serious disease like cancer, heart disease, kidney disease. And everything responds because we know that the body seeks this healthy state. Everything seeks balance, but sometimes people's habits and energy patterns become a little bit entrenched, stagnant, set. They need a bit of encouragement to shift. And the power that human beings have within their body and their hands, the old Japanese word teate, which means if someone's unwell, put a hand on it. So we know that by touching, and a certain way of touching, obviously here we study Shiatsu, which is a certain way of touching to activate the body's healing power. So Shiatsu has that kind of medical scientific energy side, but it also has a simple side of how to wake up the body's healing power. Because when we cut ourselves, cut heals. Everything's seeking health and balance, but sometimes we've got to take away impediments to that. So that's why we say some people have blockages, and some people have, so we're going to, in Shiatsu we find where the blockage is, what the disturbance is, physically and energetically, meridians, and then we work to removing those so that the person's life force awakens. It's very, very healthy. So we love seeing people get healthy in Shiatsu. So, any other things?
How does Shiatsu differ from other forms of Shiatsu, and what would one expect in a Shiatsu treatment?
Shiatsu is a holistic form of treatment. Myself, it's really not overly different from other forms of Shiatsu. It's more the integration of the Shiatsu systems and a holistic expression of it. So I've studied, over 40 years, I've studied Zen Shiatsu and macrobiotic Shiatsu. Shiatsu. These are names given to different techniques of the Namakoshi Shiatsu and Kiyatsu, and in macrobiotic understanding we talk about palm healing. Really, it's more about looking at the source of healing arts and where they all meet, and then creating a holistic expression so that we can adjust flexibly to what the person needs and not be set. So some forms of Shiatsu are very beneficial, but they're working within a certain procedure that's very good, but may not be suitable to all circumstances. So I like a very flexible. So Shiatsu has also been influenced by our work, my work, some research in Aikido, because Aikido is the study of ki, of how to harmonise ki, and ki training, as well as macrobiotics. How does Shiatsu differ? Well, it differs because the practitioner has learnt to move. We talk about moving from a deep meditative state as well. You know, sometimes ki unified state, or Buddhists would say mindful meditation. You know, how to get to that place where we can wake up the deeper nervous system of someone else. So there's a certain art of touch where the practitioner's coming from a deep place in themselves. If they're just moving technically and physically, they're going to get a certain result. But if the energy body lies deeper than the everyday, expression of the nervous system, so we've got to get into that state and wake that up. Because the deeper part of the nervous system is connected to the central nervous system is connected to the energy meridian, fine meridian body. So to say, when I was in Japan and treating a guy who was kind of like a national treasure of Japan in traditional arts. He was a 10th Dan, which is the highest grade in Aikido. He was a Shinto priest. He was a Zen priest. He was a martial this and that. And he lived in a very spiritual area of Japan. And he had cancer for the last period of his life. And while I was at his dojo, that's his calligraphy up there. I'll show you another time up there. I enjoyed treating him. He did acknowledge that he said that he had many types of treatment. He said this is the highest form of treatment he's experienced in Japan, even though I'm not Japanese, not from Japan, because a lot of the arts now, and Western people are enthusiastically embracing them, getting deeply into them. Yes, so it's very beneficial art to practice and to receive. It's great to receive. Any other things to bring up?
What are some of the more serious diseases you've had good results with Shiatsu?
Well, I've had good results with cancer. However, with those diseases, it's been important for the people to embrace a cleansing diet as well. So I would say the Shiatsu has added momentum to that process in those cases, and it's often worthwhile. That's the holistic aspect of giving ki Shiatsu, is that the practitioner can advise dietary changes, because some of the energy disturbances or the physical ailments are connected to a pattern of eating that is creating a build-up of certain toxins in the body that accumulates somewhere, could create some problems, cysts, tumours, or just pain. So this is why this is not just I don't even like the word massage when talking about Shiatsu. It's a medical art. It's a therapy, a deep treatment. So that is why the practitioner learns the art of diagnosis and to make a clear assessment of what's going on with diet, thought patterns, emotions, and lifestyle. So Shiatsu in that way, yeah. So most serious diseases are cancer, I would say, because often that's people are often, think they can't heal that, but even some people feel like arthritis can't be healed, that can be healed. So any other things?
What would you expect to receive in a Shiatsu treatment?
What would I expect to receive?
If I came along for one, what would that be like?
Well, you would come along and you would bring some light cotton clothing to change into, and you'd lie on a futon, comfortable futon, and then it would take from an hour to an hour and a half And first you would talk and present what you would like or what's going on for you, and then you'd lie down and receive a, as I said, hour to hour and a half treatment, and you would enter deep states of relaxation, and that you would feel areas of your body in a very pleasant but awakening way. And then afterwards, you may be given a few suggestions as to keep that process of energy, healing, momentum. The thing about Shiatsu, Ki Shiatsu, is as human beings we often go off the first sensory experience. When we're touched, we have a sensory experience. And so that's pleasant enough in Shiatsu, because the pressure that we give is we don't want to wake up tension and resistance, so it's a pleasant thing to receive. But having said that, after you get the treatment, the sensory experience is the smallest aspect. It sets up a process that keeps going. So as your body starts to move and the energy starts to shift around, and as things start to fall into harmony, this could be several days later, you may, just what you're drawn to and attracting, what you're attracting is also different. Then it's harder related to the Shiatsu. But there's this process of kind of integration and harmonisation. Enough said. I think that's enough as an introduction to Shiatsu. Feel free to come and try a treatment or come to the class. Thank you.